Ariza and Howard. So the fans are a little bit re-energized after the victory. They could care less that Curry didn't play. Their team won the game, and now with a chance to even things up at the Toyota Center. Mark, what did you see? What was the biggest difference you saw in the way Houston played in Game 3?
Well, I thought clearly they took James Harden off the basketball at times, which didn't allow this great Warrior defense to stare him down and make plays. And then other guys stepped up. Ultimately, you're going to beat this Warrior team. You got to do it collectively. It's not going to be a one-man show.
And despite it not having Curry, it's Curry's first shot way off the mark. Only the 10th loss of the season for these Golden State Warriors, just 9 during the regular season, and we have a foul away from the ball down the other end. And it's going to go against Golden State, and I believe it's Bogut. So Bogut quickly picks up his first. Now remember, Golden State all season long, they never lost 2 in a row. First team in NBA history to do that during the course of a regular season. But certainly a tough task for Houston. Howard's had a double-double in all 3 games thus far. Picks it back out. Shot clock winding down. Ariza trapped nicely by Barnes. Turnaround shot is good. Ariza has struggled shooting the ball. Again, he's one of the keys to their team. As Thompson catch and shoot, he drills it through. Klay Thompson is 0 for 7 from three-point range in Game 3, but quickly knocks down his first one. Beverly finds some room behind Howard. That shot won't go, and Green the rebound. During the regular season, Golden State set an NBA record. Most road wins, 34 of them. 34 and 7. As Thompson misses that jumper, and here comes Harden. Beverly back up top. Motiejunas, he's got good range. That one though way short. Beverly tracks it down. Inside feed, Motiejunas to Howard, and Howard the finish.
And that's the thing I like best about Motiejunas' game is his passing ability. Whether it's at the high post area or there off the cut, a beautiful dish. Beverly tracks it down. Beautiful ball fake and dish by Motiejunas.
Motiejunas, who had back surgery last year, it's taken him all season to kind of get back into the flow, in and out of the lineup, but now a starter. Bogut misses a short one. Harden grabs the rebound. Harden's had 20 assists in the past 2 games. 9 in Game 3, had 11 in Game 2. Barnes doesn't go for the fake. Beverly can't hit, and Barnes the rebound.
I thought that was one thing that was important for the Rockets last game also. They played with pace. You don't want to run with this Warrior team, but you want to take advantage of the opportunities that present themselves. Push the ball up the floor.
Curry 0 for 2 to start. Green, though, nice tip to Bogut. Thompson has a clean look. Another offensive rebound. Extra pass by Draymond Green. They were the best passing team in the NBA during the regular season. Is Beverly. Nice looking spin move from Patrick Beverly. Thompson, another catch and shoot. Bogut able to tip it away, but this time right to Motiejunas. 4-on-2 break for Houston. Harden, feed inside to Ariza. And ball deflected out of bounds. Still Rockets ball.
And what you just saw Bogut do, to me, has become an epidemic in our league. The back tap is a good thing at times, but you have a chance to grab it with both hands in the paint and score. I don't understand why you're back tapping.
You're right. It's so prevalent now, last couple of years. Ariza gets inside and shoots it over Bogut. So an aggressive Trevor Ariza's 2 for 2. Here's Barnes quickly down the other end. Couldn't quite get the spin on it, although he thought he was hit. And Beverly was out of bounds when he caught it, so Golden State gets it back. Beverly saying the team is still very confident, and especially after Game 3, said they've been playing, feels they've been playing better. They put all the agendas aside come playoff time. has been a strange, weird season for Houston. Curry steps back. In and out. Good look to Curry. As Curry comes up with a steal, he led the NBA in that department as well. Nice crossover move, layup. Count it and one. Both ends of the floor for Steph Curry as he gets on the board.
Well, Steph Curry, you can't turn the basketball over against this team. Struggling to shoot early on. All of a sudden you turn it over and now he gets it going in transition. What we didn't see is Curry on the celebration actually punches accidentally, obviously, Zach Zarba, the referee. Fortunately, he's okay.
Zarba having a little laugh about it with Steve Kerr right now.
And if that happened player to player, there would be an international debate whether he should be suspended or not. No, I'm serious. It's everything now is should a guy be suspended or not. Let's keep our best players in the game.
There have been a number of physical plays last couple of days in these playoffs. Some flagrant fouls, a couple of ejections. Not in this series yet, although it has been a physical series. Harden steps back. Green got a piece of the ball and apparently a piece of his arm. And Harden's going to get to the free throw line. Well, Harden, who did not shoot a single free throw in game 1, but is more than made up for it in games 2 and 3.
I want to welcome those on ABC watching the Spurs and the Grizzlies, and the game went a little long because of that power surge. We played just over 4 minutes here in the first. This is game 4 between Houston and Golden State. Steph Curry, yes, is playing. He's in the starting lineup. He's 1 for 4 to start. And right now it's James Harden and the Rockets with a 1-point lead. Excellent numbers from Harden. They're going Houston for the series, shooting under 40% from the field. Thompson finds Barnes. Pass inside to Bogut. Bogut back out to Green. Green to Curry. Curry with 2 to shoot. Green's going to have to put it up. He does. And nails it as the shot clock expires.
It's a tough shot by Draymond Green. That's very good defense by the Houston Rockets. That's a good possession defensively.
Howard kicks it out. Motiejunas. Motiejunas now guarding Thompson down the other end. Tough matchup for him there. Thompson may have gotten away with a travel. Gets the ball back in the corner and hits his second three-pointer here in the first. And a quick timeout from J.B. Bickerstaff. Golden State can always go on those runs that happen all of a sudden. And they lead by 5.
Unselfish team basketball. Dribble penetration. Harrison Barnes turns down a good shot for a great one. Little pool, 3-ball, corner pocket.
Curry back on the floor. He's missed his first 3 threes. And as his team, though, leads by 5. We welcome you here to Game 4 at the Toyota Center. Mark Jackson and Mike Green and our Emmy-nominated partner, Jeff Van Gundy. Honored to be here with you, sir. Anything you'd like to say?
Just lucky I'm carrying this motley crew.
He's our Steph Curry.
How about Zach Zarba was in the picture and you could see the welt.
Absolutely.
How many guys now Steph Curry is their hero? How many coaches or players wanted to actually slug a referee?
A turnover there for Houston.
He'll be in the concussion protocol right after the game. Seriously. How's the shot he took?
Rockets have been averaging just under 20 turnovers a game, and that could just be disaster against many teams, but especially Golden State. Shot clock at 5. Beautiful backdoor pass, but Motiejunas stays with Curry. Contests the shot. Good defense for Motiejunas. Ariza. Beverly. Howard on the mismatch. Puts the power in and gets it a ball.
But look at the depth he got right there. Mike, that's the biggest difference versus the stationary walk it down and try to throw it in where you catch it at 15 feet.
You know, we see that every night in the NBA, like the other night with Andre Drummond. He got it down low as a foul's called against Houston. a world of difference for the center.
The players don't understand that every step matters, but in post play it really does. Look how deep he is there off one dribble. Great entry pass, but great seal by Dwight Howard to fight for every inch that's important.
And good things happen when he does that. The first possession of the game gets a foul on Bogut because he tries to duck in on the block. That time gets a quality layup.
That last foul was on James Harden. Andre Iguodala's come in. Green, nice spin move, comes up short. Motiejunas grabs it. Here's Harden. Kicks it out of Ariza. Open look for Trevor Ariza. Won't fall, and Bogut the rebound.
They probably had 4 wide open threes that they just haven't been able to put down.
They're 0 for 5. And again, J.B. Bickerstaff said he felt that in game 3. As Thompson's three-pointer gets a nice friendly bounce. He's got 3 threes. Again, 0 for 7 the other night. That rarely happens that he fails to hit a 3.
To be successful against his Warrior team, you got to stay connected to Klay Thompson and Steph Curry. Those are open layups at the three-point line.
Beverly tied up. Motiejunas with 5 to shoot. Has the height advantage there. Uses his offhand as Bogut grabs the rebound. Here's Curry. Curry the fake. Oh, nice adjustment. And Draymond Green, the beneficiary, with a dunk. Curry a couple of assists. The lead is up to 8. Motiejunas throws it down with the offhand again. They love him here in Houston, but again, he just hadn't been healthy all year. And 14 points in game 3 and 13 rebounds as a whistle and a foul is called. Beverly picks up his second foul, and Beverly's going to have to sit down as he argues with Derek Stafford.
It's the right decision here. It's a good job getting rid of the basketball. Catches it, puts it on the floor, attacks. Big time finish over the contested hand of Bogut. Grown man move.
25-year-old from Lithuania getting his first rest. Nice pass. Thompson to Bogut. Jason Terry and Michael Beasley have come on for Houston. A quick 8-point lead for Golden State. Terry on a crossover, gets inside, beats Curry easily off the dribble, and Jason Terry with his first bucket. Draymond Green very critical of his performance in game 3. Had 7 turnovers in that game. He wants it, he's got Terry on. Green throws it up. Throws it behind Bogut. Terry releases down the other end. Instant offense off the bench for the veteran Terry. Houston shooting 57% from the field, yet they trail by 4. Curry kicks it out. Iguodala, corner 3 misses. Bogut right there on the ticker. His second field goal.
And that's the difference to me between Dwight Howard today and Dwight Howard 5 years ago. Those were snatched up on misses.
Bogut grabs his 6th rebound. And sometimes you can see the way he moves with all the various back and knee problems. He's just not the same player physically.
Not getting up off the floor as quickly as he once did.
Iguodala, nice fake on Beasley. And Beasley went for it, committed the foul. We'll have some free throws. Just under 3 remaining in the first. Dwight Howard and the Rockets down 6.
NBA playoffs on ABC.
The end of game 3 of this series had its share of controversy. James Harden, this is the game winner. The NBA announcing it should have been an offensive foul, but this created just as much controversy. The reaction of some of the Rockets who barely got fired up. for that game winner that kept them in this series. Who's talked about quite a bit last couple of days. Some of the Rockets saying, hey, we didn't settle or we didn't get fired up because we knew Golden State. There was still time, and they've hit so many circus shots that we had to kind of keep it calm. What were your guys' thoughts on that mild reaction from the Rockets bench?
Well, I'll start with I didn't think it was an offensive foul, number one. Number two, I don't think the league office, even though it's a great idea, that transparency in the last 2 minutes, those reports, I don't like those either. I don't think it's good. And three, anybody who thinks that the Warriors and Spurs would have had the same reaction as the Rockets, it's not true. It's almost impossible not to feel great joy at that moment and have your coach be the one to try to settle you down.
I agree with everything you said. The one thing I will say is there are guys, clapping and jumping up and down and enthusiastic. I could care less. So just because a guy isn't jumping up and down, I'm not saying that this is correct. We would address this if I was coaching this team. But a guy jumping around is not an indication that he's all in.
Well, we'll get into more of this and the game. Good hustle that time from Golden State here in the first. Back here, first quarter of game 4 from Houston. 24-17 lead for Golden State, who will inbound. Patrick Beverley and the Rockets again. They've heard about it the last couple of days. Beverley talking about how they were worried about Golden State scoring to win the game. Dwight Howard told anybody who made a big deal of it to shut up. As Ian Clark, who had a fine game 3, gets to the Thompson. Thompson too strong. Jason Terry the rebound. Terry looking, knocked out of his hands by Clark, and then a foul on Terry. Terry felt he was fouled earlier. Instead, he picks up his first. Now, this series will continue back in Oakland. Game 5 will be Wednesday. TNT will have that one. And if the Rockets can get a win today, a Game 6 would be Friday, right back here at the Toyota Center, and a Game 7, if necessary, back in Oakland next Sunday.
Interestingly, you take a look at Steve Kerr early on in this ball game. Ian Clark and James Michael McAdoo, two guys, not normally the first two guys or one of the first two off the bench. You normally used looking at Sean Livingston or Festus Ezeli. These two guys, one thing you can trust, their energy level and the way they compete.
Any speculation as to why they're getting the early call?
I don't have a clue. I think Steve Kerr shouldn't be questioned as a coach. So I'm sure there's a method to his madness.
Well, the likes of Sean Livingston and Mo Spates playing very well past couple of games. Terry throws it behind Capella, and that's already 6 turnovers for Houston.
They're not forced. These are just bad plays. Give yourself a chance if you're the Rockets.
Well, one of the things J.B. Bickerstaff was saying is that he felt his team made all the scrap plays, as he'd like to call them. It was different from the first couple of games. Iguodala sets for a 3-pointer and nails it. That's now 5 3-pointers here in the first period for Golden State. They're 5 for 11. And Iguodala called for the foul. They're going to say it's not in the act of shooting. Steve Kerr felt it shouldn't have been a foul. J.B. Bickerstaff felt it should have been a foul in the act of shooting. So nobody's happy right now.
And to me, that's a foul, and it is in the act of shooting. So his right hand on the arm of James Harden certainly was contact.
It was definitely in the act of shooting. Capella to Beasley, and Beasley gets it to go.
That's good offense. James Harden getting the ball out of the double team on time, and then a nice pass. Capella to Beasley, big to big.
McAdoo just playing in his second playoff game. Blocked by Capella. Harden picks it up. Harden with Iguodala on him. Hard screen set on Iguodala. Beasley again gets in the paint. Again, able to finish.
The advantage of having another scorer on the floor. Beasley is a guy that's proven to put the basketball in the hoop.
Thompson goes right at Beasley. Hesitates. It comes up way short. Final minute, first quarter. Harden gets past Iguodala. Gets to the rim. Draws yet another foul. Steve Kerr very upset. Once again, did not feel it was a foul call. And Rocket fans, some of them giving a standing ovation.
Coach, I'm sure you agree. The pressure that James Harden puts on your defense, pushing the basketball. This isn't a half-court set. This is just a great offensive player making a play in transition.
And I think that's a foul.
McAdoo called for the foul. He had 26 free throws combined in games 2 and 3.
Whether it's on McAdoo or Green, Green's in the restricted area. Take your
McAdoo
pick.
close to getting there on time, but perhaps not close enough.
Mike, when you see, even if you're there, when you see body to shoulder contact, the offense is always going to get the benefit of the doubt.
It shouldn't always be that way, but I agree with you. Most of the time that happens.
The Rockets sent McAdoo to the line, intentionally fouling.
So McAdoo will go to the line. The second-year player out of North Carolina, and has hardly played in these playoffs so far. He's only played 8 minutes in one of the games. During the regular season, he played in 41 games, including 1 start. From the free throw line, he was just 53%.
And it's done at this moment to try to get a 2-for-1 situation offensively.
Misses the free throw. His first free throw attempt of these playoffs. Motiejunas picking up his first. McAdoo played his college ball at North Carolina. Steve Kerr very high on the young man. Obviously just doesn't have a lot of opportunity to play with their roster. And he misses a pair.
If I'm the Rockets, I'm sending them to the line again after this possession.
Beasley for 3. And it's back to 1. 9 straight points now for the Houston Rockets. There's a little over a second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Ariza on Thompson. He did an excellent job in game 3 on him. Iguodala to Clark. And Clark with a nice play off the beautiful feed. Final seconds of the first. Terry to Harden. Harden at the buzzer. Oh, he knocks it down! James Harden ties the game on a buzzer beater here to end the first. Used every 1/10 of a second. Clearly gets it off in time as Harden hits his first 3-pointer. It was well defended.
He was fouled.
A 12-2 run to finish for Houston as this presentation of the NBA playoffs will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Thank you, Mike. Steve, the Rockets went on a bit of a run there, closed that quarter, a 12-2 run. What was not working for you guys at the end of the quarter?
They just made shots. They closed the quarter well, but I'm very pleased with the way the quarter went overall. If we keep playing like this, we're going to be fine.
There were questions about how quickly Steph Curry was going to be able to get into rhythm after not having played for a week. How did he look that first quarter to you?
Well, he missed his first few shots, but he looked great physically, and that was the main thing. And he'll be fine. I know he's going to get into a rhythm.
All right, thank you. Mike.
All right, Lisa, Curry was 1 for 5. Missed the 3-pointers, did have a couple of assists. Meanwhile, Steve Kerr puts in Sean Livingston and Maurice Spates. A different rotation to start the first quarter with McAdoo and Clark out there before Spates and Livingston, who both played so well in game 3. Beasley has it knocked away, but foul. And he'll shoot free throws as Harrison Barnes commits the foul. And you look what these three have done. Obviously more scoring opportunities with Steph Curry out for basically 2.5 games. And Spates was wonderful the other night. At a playoff career high 22 points. Beasley hits the free throw.
Rockets getting great minutes right now for Michael Beasley on the offensive end and running some offense through him on that last possession.
He's got 8 points in 6 minutes. I say it all the time. He knows how to put the ball in the basket. And it's never been a problem for Beasley. 2-point Rockets lead after they trailed by 10. Iguodala, a foul line jumper. Harden will bring it up. By the way, Harden's buzzer beater from 3 was his first field goal. He has 3 assists, though. Beasley on Barnes. Was it tipped? Yes, they say it. Didn't appear that way to us. Derek Stafford, they say it was off Barnes.
It did look like it was off of Beasley, but Stafford's not getting any help. Clearly looked like it was off Beasley.
Pass inside to Howard. Harden with his 4th assist.
Harden is playing great basketball tonight. Not overhandling, giving up good shots to get great shots. Nice find to Howard.
Houston is shooting 65% from the field. Iguodala tries again. Another 15-footer.
But those are shots that you live with if you're used to, because the pick and roll with Maurice Spates. You don't want to leave his body in. At the end of the day, you get good contest. Iguodala just made a couple jumpers.
Beasley with 2 Warriors on him. Freddie Spindle Beasley with 11 points.
And the success of Beasley allowed J.B. Bickerstaff to keep James Harden on the floor. You're not asking him to make every play.
Spates answers. He's become a 3-point threat. And Golden State back up by 1. Mo buckets off the bench right away. Harden finds room, throws it up. Harden to Howard.
Smart play by Michael Beasley, also being fronted by Harrison Barnes. Almost sets a 2-man screen on Iguodala, allowing Harden to get to the paint.
Beverly with a steal. And no, he missed it. But Corey Brewer right there. Timeout Golden State. McDonald's, Mark Jackson.
Defensive intensity comes up with the strip. That's quality offense off your defense. Great job by Brewer. Not giving up on the play with the putback. How about James Harden? The great screen by Beasley puts James Harden in position for the lob pass. And then you love what Beasley is doing on the offensive end. 3 guys on him, does not matter. He's a born scorer. Has taken over this game early, giving the Rockets a tremendous boost.
Well, they've come back from 10 down. Not only did the crowd react by jumping up, so did the Rockets bench reacting with a lot of enthusiasm.
Even though there was a lot of time left, and we know how serious they can be about not getting excited too early.
A 3-point lead. Again, the Rockets shooting 67% from the field. They're only leading by 3. Iguodala not that time. Howard the rebound.
And he's guarded right now by Patrick Beverly because Beverly has 2 fouls.
Harden throws it up, and Howard throws it down. James Harden now with 6 assists, and the Rockets lead by 5.
Coach talked about it. James Harden is making plays offensively. Underrated passing ability.
Iguodala to Livingston. Blocked by Howard. Ahead of the pack is Brewer. Missed another layup. First Beverly, then Brewer with point-blank range layups. Spates tried to tip it, but right to Howard. Rockets still playing with an energy and a spirit at both ends as Harden can't hit that one. Ball tipped right to Howard. 12 points, 8 rebounds for Howard. A 17-point turnaround after trailing by 10 up 7 as Brewer fouls Curry.
And Harden has not come out. And a great move by J.B. Bickerstaff. It was 24-17. It looked like it was getting away from him. He's played his main guy throughout, inserted Beasley, and they have been rolling ever since.
Beasley a big part of that. Instant offense off the bench.
And Andrew Bogut inserted back in the game. Had a little minor problem there that was being worked on, but you couldn't keep him out of this game.
Curry for three. Curry now 0 for 4 from downtown, 1 for 6 overall. This is what Steve Kerr talked about. He wasn't worried about his foot or his ankle. He's worried about him just getting back into rhythm. Brewer. Howard pushed off to get that rebound. And that's going to be his first personal.
And the right call made as Howard pushed Bogut in the back. But you look and you say, how could the Rockets be shooting so well from the field? 14 of their 18 field goals are in the paint. That's quality offense. They're not settling.
NBAtickets.com, the official source for all NBA playoff tickets. Start your search now at NBAtickets.com, where tickets are always authentic and always available. Livingston, Bogut, Barnes, Green, and Curry. Nice pass from Curry. And Bogut with an easy two.
Beautiful pass by Curry. Earlier rotation by the Rockets needed on that trap.
Well, Curry and Harden, the two top scorers in the NBA this season, are doing it with a pass here in this first half. A couple of dribbles there. Beasley misses that one. Livingston shuffles off to Curry. Curry with a bit of a push off on Brewer. Curry for three. There's the first one of the night from downtown for Curry.
Good job by Curry getting rid of the basketball. Rockets fall asleep and Draymond Green gives it right back to him.
Green has 4 assists. Barnes on Harden. He scoots past him. And is there going to be an offensive foul? Yes. The Rockets saying he was in the restricted area. Zach Zarba going to talk to Kane Fitzgerald and see if they change the call. He was outside the restricted area.
And they changed the call.
That's an offensive foul.
And he was clearly outside unless they felt that Bogut was moving.
No, they called it as a restricted.
Yeah.
Because Kane Fitzgerald had the had the offensive foul. Zach Zarba came in and said he was in the restricted.
This will be the 5th and 6th free throw attempts already for James Harden.
He's clearly out, but in my opinion, he's still moving. He's clearly out of the restricted area.
Yeah, I think he's moving a little bit on that as well.
You don't have to be stationary.
Right.
You have to be in legal guarding position.
You sound like a referee. Did you ever think about being a ref?
Like I've said to you guys, I believe I could come in now and be a top 30 ref.
Oh my goodness.
And Mark thinks he could hit major league pitching, so we're both delusional.
No. You're delusional. I didn't say Fat 300 as another fine feed and finish by Livingston. I said make contact.
Curry with just a beautiful move and his 5th assist. He's got 5 assists. Harden has 6 assists. These big-time scorers distributing beautifully. Beasley misses that. Howard hammered. And he'll shoot free throws. Howard already with a double-double, 12 points and 10 boards.
And really no set plays. He's gotten them off lobs, he's gotten deep duck-ins, and he's gotten second shots. That's just great work by Dwight Howard.
I was talking to somebody before the game, and they were throwing away names as just regular big men, with all due respect in this league, trying to compare them to Dwight Howard. We can forget how good this guy has been and how good he can be.
And really, even if you look at it this year, there's a lot of centers in our league who would die to put up the numbers that he put up this year. Is he what he once was in Orlando? Absolutely not. Is he still really good? Yes, he is.
Well, this year he was 2nd in field goal percentage, 3rd in rebounding still, in what many consider to be an off year for him. By the way, that last foul was on Barnes, so Barnes has 2. The free throw shooting has still been a problem for him.
But you better believe you game plan against him. You're figuring out how to keep him away from the rim and off those balls.
And a loose ball foul call against Golden State. And Warriors, I believe that's the 15th foul. So
Green picks up his second, and my mistake, it's just the 14th foul. Howard from the free throw line, and now in this series is 7 for 23. And Livingston fouls Howard to send him right back to the free throw line. Well, tonight on ESPN, Sunday Night Baseball from here in Houston. David Ortiz and the Red Sox visit Carlos Correa and the Astros at Minute Maid Park. First pitch shortly after 8 Eastern on ESPN. Saw our man Dan Schulman earlier today at the hotel, getting ready for tonight's telecast.
You guys were there yesterday.
What a beautiful park.
It's a beautiful park. And they had it open yesterday, too, did they not?
Yes.
Beautiful place.
I had perfect timing. I walked in and witnessed the Grand Slam as soon as I walked in. Beautiful park.
And a double foul has been called.
Double violation, I think.
Or is it violation? Yep, double violation. You're right, Jeff. Beverly and Curry. Two yapping away at each other. And they have to wait until the release.
They're very, very selective in how we enforce that rule right there.
It's a win for the Rockets. They miss a free throw and win a jump ball and get the basketball back.
I think the reason probably called it there because just to kind of stop these guys from going at each other a little bit. Harden wants the ball. Thompson guarding him. Trevor Ariza with a hand in his face. Almost went down as Bogut commits his third foul. And Ariza will get 3 free throws. Well, Steve Kerr said after game 3, my team doesn't need to play harder. They need to play smarter. And that was not smart.
And this is a team that we've come accustomed to watching play smart basketball. They've made some mistakes in this first half. This is a jump shooter. No need to foul a jump shooter in that situation. A bad foul sending Ariza to the line.
Ariza, who is shooting 23% from three-point range here in these playoffs, and just 28% overall, going to get 3 free throws.
But again, let's not overlook the screen of Dwight Howard. That's what freed him up, which made Bogut lunge on his contest and ultimately foul the shooter. You see it here as they re-screen. Good hard screen. And then Bogut lunging at Ariza fouls him.
Ariza during the regular season average just under 13 a game. It's 2 of 3 and the lead up to 5.
And it really, if that had not gone in, there was another lane violation. When they're standing right next to each other on the perimeter, it's very hard not to violate.
Curry to Green. Stripped and stolen by Harden. Harden throws it ahead, Motiejunas. That was going to be a tough catch, and he threw it a little bit behind him as they turn it over now for the 7th time.
And those are plays where you're trying to do too much. If you're James Harden, keep your dribble alive and allow the defense to tell you what to do.
Harden has only 3 field goal attempts. Now, granted, he's been fouled on a few of his shots. And you don't get credited with a field goal attempt when you get fouled. But he's done more damage with the pass. Curry with another bad pass, and this one leading to another layup as Harden throws it down.
A good job by the Rockets trapping Steph Curry off that pick and roll.
Timeout, Steve Kerr. Rockets up 7 again.
So you don't give him a steady diet, but every now and then you want to jump. You want to blitz Steph Curry. Great job with active high hands, forcing him to the turnover. James Harden all by himself. Take your time, James. Take your time.
Grizzlies for Game 4. Kawhi Leonard led the way, 21 points. And the Spurs are the first team to get through to the second round. They swept the Grizz. And, Mike, they await the winner of the Thunder-Mavs series.
Another great game, Sage, from Kawhi Leonard as we look at our Domino's playoff tracker. So San Antonio advances. Oklahoma City 1 game away. And that Game 4 in Portland's going to be huge, as the Trailblazers had a terrific win last night on their home floor. And there was another foul here as we're about to put the ball in play.
It's a hack of Ezeli. You can do it before the ball's inbound. It's the same thing. I just don't think I would ever foul without somebody I want. I'd put somebody else in if I know I'm going to foul. So nobody that's in my rotation has to take a foul.
Capella took the foul, only his first. And Festus Ezeli will go to the free throw line. Ezeli hasn't played a heck of a lot the last couple of games. In these playoffs, he's 2 for 6 from the free throw line. And during the regular season, just 53%. That one was perfect.
But I'm surprised more teams playing the Warriors don't utilize it, particularly when Curry and Thompson are on a roll and either Bogut, Ezeli, McAdoo are in. Now, I know your offense may suffer a little bit, but I think it does two things. If Harden's going to play the whole game, he doesn't have to play as many possessions of defense all out because of going on the foul. And two, when Curry is on such a roll, it puts the game into Bogut, Ezeli's hands at the free throw line.
And you're against, you wish that there's some changes with the rule. With me, we're watching teams have success in keeping dominant players, whether it be defensively or offensively, off the floor. So it gives them a chance. It's proven.
No, I think it should be used more as long as it's a rule. I just don't think the rule should exist. It doesn't exist in the last 2 minutes of our game. It doesn't exist at any other level of basketball. You shouldn't be rewarded for committing an infraction like fouling.
Green is fouled on the missed free throw. By the way, the reason for that delay was the game clock. Something wrong with that, so they checked on that. Meanwhile, Draymond Green grabs that board. But they weren't in the penalty. It's only the 14th foul for the Rockets, so Golden State will take it out of bounds.
And not to harp on it, but you shouldn't be rewarded if you're a poor free throw shooter. The rule change would award a poor free throw shooter to still stay in the game.
No, it rewards the fans. They don't have to watch this garbage.
Curry throws a bad pass. Ezeli knocks it out of bounds, so they call an offensive foul. After Ariza released the pass, Curry stood his ground, and Ariza barreled into him, and an offensive foul on Ariza, his first.
I didn't like this call at first. To me, Mike, that's a college call, how they call the charge. NBA, to me.
Another charge down the other end, Draymond Green. Green still hollering at Derek Stafford. He's got to be careful. Beverly goes flying. By the way, Green had that foul at the end of game 3 that wasn't called. And when the league looked at it, they made it a flagrant one. He held Michael Beasley. Motiejunas throws it down. Howard claiming he was held. This one's starting to get a little bit chippy. We're going to see a lot of whistles, I think, next 5.5 minutes.
But I like that for a nice play design. As Curry, beautiful split.
Curry gets it, fires, can't hit. Rebound Motiejunas. Curry now 2 for 8. Harden and Livingston banging each other. Beverly finds Harden. Livingston goes for the fake. Harden, nice adjustment on the pass, but Beverly can't connect. And Livingston touched it last. Rockets ball.
That's a great pass by Harden. Beverly didn't have the ability to knock it down, but that's good offense.
And this hack-a-foul stuff, Golden State a little bit out of their rhythm right now offensively.
Well, I think, and that's one reason I think you would try it more against them if you're an opposing team. I like what J.B. Bickerstaff has done.
I talked about it a couple of games ago, not posting up Motiejunas against Draymond Green. If I'm the Rockets, I give him a look right now. With Green having 3 fouls, I'm not going to allow him just to stay on the floor.
Ariza, there's Motiejunas, back out to Ariza. Ariza gets inside. The tip misses, ball batted out. Iguodala comes up with it. Iguodala to Thompson, corner 3. Iguodala the rebound.
And I like the strategy of keeping Draymond Green in the game.
Even though he has the 3 fouls, he's got 5 points, 4 assists. Curry sitting down right now. Livingston, too strong. Livingston has been so on the mark, but way off on a couple of jumpers. Ariza with a 3-pointer. And over the backboard, Golden State ball. Ezeli and Howard battling. Let's listen to a recent Steve Kerr huddle.
Let's just settle ourselves in. There are a couple possessions there where we panic and just throw the ball away. Let's settle yourselves in, everybody. Lock in every possession.
Our sounds of the game today brought to you by Pandora. As Green drives, can't finish. Rebound Motiejunas, tips it to Harden. Harden stolen by Green. Great hustle from Draymond Green after missing down the other end.
And that's where everybody runs to the corner for for threes. Beverly could have, as Ezeli, nice jump hook, could have got fouled. I thought Beverly had a layup. Instead, running to the corner allows Green the angle for the steal.
Timeout, Houston.
Well, nice challenge by Howard. Good hustle by Draymond Green. What a great effort.
Rockets up 4. The good news for the Warriors, taking a look at Steph Curry early on. Look, that's a missed shot, but you're not concerned about make a miss. You're concerned about how is he running. Well, this is Steph Curry that we've become accustomed to love on the basketball floor, getting into the seams. Good job getting rid of the basketball. That's a layup for him. That's a knockdown shot. And then in transition, making plays. Looks like the ankle is just fine. And here's where you really see it. Splitting the pick and roll, getting into the seams, making plays.
Now, so much discussed about his unbelievable shooting and his passing, but he does have 3 turnovers as now they foul Howard again, and this has become a big part of this first half. Curry right now is sitting after playing 16 minutes. Ezeli picks up his first. So Howard, who's 1 for 3 from the line, 13 points, 10 rebounds here in this first half. Again, his 4th straight double-double in the series.
Wouldn't you love it if J.B. Bickerstaff put in somebody deep from his bench to foul Ezeli, and they kept going like this so the first half never ended? Just keep going back and forth. It'd be great. No, I'm being serious. The absurdity of it would be highlighted then versus watching the best basketball players in the world play basketball.
Ezeli grabs the rebound, as we mentioned the other night. NBA Commissioner Adam Silver talked about that. He thinks there's a good possibility of changing that rule this offseason. Barnes, who has really struggled shooting through the first 3 games, hits that one, and Golden State back within 1. Barnes is 1 of 8 from downtown in the first 3 games. That's his first field goal here this afternoon. Motiejunas couldn't handle a pass, out of bounds.
That's a bad passing angle by James Harden to try to enter the ball to Motiejunas from too far out. Should have a direct line of entry where it's passer, post player, and the basket in a straight line.
Coming up at halftime, Sage Steele with Doug Collins and Jalen Rose. We're going to talk about the Rockets and all their points in the paint, 30 of them. And the Grizzlies say goodbye. They fought hard, so undermanned, but swept by San Antonio. Shot clock at 7. Iguodala sets and hits the 3-pointer. Andre Iguodala's second 3. And that's the 9th of the game for Golden State. They're back in front.
Made big shots, and I think the Rockets did take advantage of an opportunity.
Whistle as Harden throws up a 3-pointer from beyond the arc.
It's a hack out, Howard.
Yeah. So Howard will go back again. By the way, with the Grizzlies now going out, just send out a shout out to our colleagues at TNT. One of the funniest things every year is that Don Fishing segment. The team gets eliminated as Howard misses the free throw. Howard now 1 of 6 from the line. It has been a disaster. Motiejunas sits down. Jason Terry back in.
If you're Steve Kerr, it's the best of both worlds. You made this run with Steph Curry on the bench. He's already witnessed his ability to run, looking like he's, healthy and whole. And now this unit on the floor is taking advantage of his rest.
Iguodala looks for Ezeli. Throws up the shot and is fouled. Trevor Ariza, I don't know if he's upset with himself with a foul, but that's his second personal as we send it over to Lisa.
Yeah, Mike, Patrick Beverly is still back in the Rockets locker room. They're calling it a right leg injury, and his return to this game is questionable.
Well, he injured his right knee in a warm-up before Game 3. I don't know if it's the same thing. And then he had a fall during the course of Game 3 where he hurt his left leg. So he's been a little banged up. He obviously played the other night and played over 33 minutes. It looked fine earlier, but we saw him walk off before. Beverly, a tenacious, to say the least, defender.
And with Dwight Howard leaving the game, Steve Kerr, as J.B. Bickerstaff goes small, Marshall Lewis at the 5, brings in Steph Curry, and he goes small, and now Draymond Green in that deadly small lineup for the Warriors on the floor.
Well, welcome to today's NBA. The Warriors are 9 of 18 from three-point range, but they're 3 for 11 from the free throw line.
But Montejunas should be in the post against Barnes.
Harden finds Beasley. Beasley fouled by Thompson. Maybe the first foul on Klay Thompson. And Michael Beasley, who's a big spark off the bench early. Chance to give Houston the lead.
They get something out of this, but the best possible situation, you're not setting this screen with Draymond Green where he can switch, but Beasley does a good job of using his angles and getting the basketball, creating the contact.
Beasley hits. Beasley, who signed as a free agent in March after being the MVP in a Chinese Basketball Association. Second time he's played over there. Here's a guy who was a number 2 overall pick back in 2008. He played with Miami, Minnesota, Phoenix, Miami again, but he had to go to China. He thought he might never get back to the NBA. Could have got a couple of calls. Sometimes it didn't come to anything. So here he is playing in the first round against the defending champs and playing well here in Game 4. Rockets up 1. Thompson drives out to Barnes. Barnes can't get it to fall. Fight for the rebound. Curry couldn't get it. Jason Terry races up the floor. Beasley looking. Bad pass stolen by Iguodala. Iguodala crossover move. Goes back and Barnes with a finish.
To have 2 forwards on your team like Iguodala and Green, who can either rebound and push and make great decisions, or off a turnover lead the break. What a thing of beauty, the way they run the fast break.
And the ball kicked by Thompson.
These guys have decision-making ability of point guards. The great steal, and then the push, the patience, and the drop-off to Harrison Barnes.
16 assists for the best passing team in the NBA all season long. Green will sit down, not wanting him to pick up his 4th foul in the final minute. But he played a good long stretch with those 3 fouls. Steve Kerr trusting Draymond Green. Harden mishandles it. Iguodala nearly got it. Shot clock down to 2. Harden drives, stripped, but fouled. James Harden will go back to the line once again.
Not much time left on the clock. See the strip, but clearly there's contact, sending Harden to the line.
He's one of the best we've ever seen in drawing fouls as he goes to the basket. What makes it so difficult, Mark?
Size, strength, almost like a fullback. He's not afraid of contact. He's tough to defend. I don't care how much you go over it and talk about it as a team. He's going to get to the line.
Took more free throws than anybody in the NBA. And look at that company. This season's averaging over 10 a game. It's his 3rd season he's done that. I didn't realize Jerry West got to the line that many times. We're looking up some of the numbers recently.
When you're on a same list with the Big O, the Logo, and Allen Iverson.
And the future Hall of Famer later this summer.
Let's just say he's a Hall of Famer right now.
Curry can't hit. Spates tried to tip it in. Knocked out of bounds. Last touch, they say, by the Rockets.
I thought Spates got fouled on the tip.
Curry now just 2 for 9 shooting.
Crowd upset. Clearly went off of both Spates.
They turn it over. Here comes Harden going right at Barnes. And Barnes makes sure he doesn't get a shot off. as Barnes picks up his third foul, and Harden's going to be in double figures in free throw attempts here on the first half now.
But you ask, how does he get to the line? Look at this, Mike. Gets to his spot in a hurry and not afraid of contact. Harrison Barnes is not looking for contact, but he puts so much pressure by meeting your body. That's clearly a foul, but he's a master at creating the contact.
This is one of the great halves I've ever seen James Harden play.
Because of the way he's mixed it all up?
Yeah, and because of his passing, Mike, and when he gets to the free throw line, it keeps Golden State out of transition. So they're playing in the half court. All these free throws have kept them more in the half court offense versus where they're lethal, which is in transition.
Well, Harden has played the entire first half. Now 13 points, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and he's got 3 steals. 2-point Rockets lead. Second straight game, Houston playing with spirit, with energy. Curry lost the handle. He thought he was hit. Bad outlet pass, and Thompson comes up with it. Thompson looks for someone to throw it to. Iguodala saves, drives, and finishes. Iguodala went down hard. He's not up yet. Still time remaining. Ariza trying to find some room. Curry falls down and grabs his right leg. Curry asking for help to get up. He fell awkwardly and immediately grabbed his right leg, and you see him hobbling right now.
I think when Valanciunas went down, it was a wet spot. Curry looked like he slipped on it.
And quickly runs off. Here's the play. There's the slip. And you see that right knee extended. He grabbed the right knee immediately. Asked for help up. Obviously an awkward fall. And was able to trot off, but limp as he went back to the Golden State locker room. Curry 2 for 9 from the field. 6 points. He did have 5 assists, made some gorgeous passes, but obviously struggled with his rhythm from shooting and also with some turnovers. Meanwhile, James Harden, as Jeff said, terrific all around first half. Game 4. Rockets trying to even things up. It's even now after 2 quarters.
NBA playoffs on ABC.
What an end. What a first half there in Houston. Welcome to our LA studios. Doug Collins, Jalen Rose, I'm Sage Steele. We had 12 lead changes. We had runs by each team, and now we are all tied up at 56 as the Rockets try to tie up this series. Let's start with Steph Curry there as the half ended, because their reaction as we're watching in the studio when Steph slipped like that and that right leg went out, yeah, Doug got up and I mean, it was ugly, guys.
Well, I mean, the thing you worked about is that, like, he did the splits. You look at his knee, then you look at possibly groin. He's had the right ankle problem. He's holding his right knee. And Jalen, this is what I always talk about. It's why you don't want to play extra games in the playoffs. Any little thing like this changes your whole fortunes.
Especially in the game that he returns to play after being out due to injury.
6 points, 1 of 7 from 3. He obviously has not gotten into his Steph Curry rhythm, but does that surprise you?
It doesn't surprise me. You got to give the Rockets a lot of credit for not letting them get off to a really good start. But the Rockets stayed true to form, what they were trying to get accomplished. That was attack the paint. As I mentioned before the game, the Warriors are the 6th worst defending the paint in the entire league. Well, you have a decided advantage up front with the size and physical dominance of Dwight Howard, the heat check flurries of Michael Beasley, and skill and activity of Monty Eunice, as you see the interior passing right there. And also putting them on the free throw line. Houston plus 13 on free throws, forcing the Warriors out of transition, making them play against a set defense each time.
Remember, in Game 3, when Steph did not play, Golden State made 6 threes. They were minus 15 at the three-point line today. He is back. He's shooting 1 for 7, but they're still plus 21 at the three-point line. So the paint and the free throw line for Houston, and it's been sort of the three-point line. But here, to me, is what's going to be the really key. We've seen in the first 3 games of the series, Dwight Howard have good first halves.
Yes.
He's averaging 4 points a game in the second half.
Okay.
If they're going to win, he's got to come with the same kind of effort in the second half that he did did in the first, and they've got to cut back their turnovers. 15 points off turnovers. They can't turn the ball over.
And that's where I think James Harden being able to pace himself and be a playmaker allows him to be that go-to scorer in the second half, because he's the only guy in the league to average 25 points in the playoffs the last 4 seasons.
By the way, we heard Lisa Salters mention Patrick Beverley taken back to the locker room, and his return is questionable with a leg injury. What effect does that have on Houston?
He was open for a reason, but he does get on the offensive end, but he does give you the tenacity on defense. Let's see if Jason Terry can do something with those minutes and make a couple of shots.
And Sage, I want to follow up our broadcasters, too. When they shoot a lot of free throws, the Rockets, it's keep Golden State out of transition, and Harden can rest a little bit. So keep your eye on that free throw line.
James Harden has played every single minute of this first half, and right now he has 13 points as those Rockets are playing tough at home, all tied up. The Grizzlies, gosh, they played tough all season. They got into the postseason despite so much adversity. We'll talk about that.
And we hate to give them that theme song.
From the coach.
Go, go, go. On vacation.
On the count of 3. I can't tell you enough how proud I am of every guy that is in that locker room and has come through that locker room. This season's been hard. It's been really hard. And they could have quit. Could have quit. Could have not made the playoffs. And every day they came out and they fought like crazy.
That says it all from Grizzlies coach Dave Yeager, and he's right. Between devastating injuries, the trades affecting chemistry, this was a brutal season, but they got there, Coach.
They did, and I've been there. I understand that emotion. I don't think people realize what a coach goes through during the course of a year. Just the laying in bed at night, how can you make your team better? Just your mind doesn't shut off every single day, grinding it. Dave Yeager's a good man, and he should be very proud.
He did a really good job with this basketball team. But we do have to salute the San Antonio Spurs.
And by the way, before you say that, the respect on the court after the game between those two teams is to your point. Salute the Spurs.
And the supernatural Kawhi Leonard. They found a way to get it done. This was the original Wallace, but this is the first round, Sage. So I brought his less affluent cousin this time. Because this is only for outdoor
Not as fancy as the Wallace.
Yes, I mean, if you're going to play 7 games in the first round, you got to at least win 1. But I understand for the Memphis Grizzlies.
Oh, okay, so
but Wallace!
See, Sage, I'm a coach. I'm crying. He's got the broom out.
I'm the media.
He's the media. He's laughing at you. James Harden, Dwight Howard clicking in the first half. Do they get it done in Game 4 here?
Not going to be able to do it. But we want to see a great run.
This presentation of the NBA playoffs will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Halftime from Houston, Texas, Game 4, this opening round playoff series. The Toyota Center rocking in that first half as their Rockets tied up at 56 apiece. Today's most interesting stats are brought to you by Dos Equis. As you see, a big advantage for Golden State from the three-point line, but a big advantage for Houston from the free throw line. Of course, the number one question on the minds, how is Steph Curry? As Curry limped off at the end of the first half after, watch how that right leg lands so awkwardly as he slipped on the floor. He grabbed that right leg immediately, then asked for help up the floor. It was the end of the half, the final shot, and went off the floor. Obviously, had some treatment. Here's him coming back out and testing a little bit, but you can see the limp is still there as he's back on the floor. And with more, let's check in with Lisa Salters.
Yeah, Mike, I was just talking to Steve Kerr about it, and as you said, he told me that Curry slipped on a wet spot on the floor and tweaked his right knee. As Kerr described it to me, it's the inside part of the right knee, the MCL part. He said that Curry is going to try to play, see how it goes. But Kerr said if he doesn't feel right, if he doesn't look right, we will get him out of the game and he will not play. Now, as Steph Curry came out of the locker room, I was able to ask him, how you feeling? You okay? And he just said, I'm okay, but he didn't look okay. So he's going to try to see how it goes. But again, Steve Kerr says if he is not right, he will not play. Mike?
All right, Lisa, and some guys you can see in terms of the way they handle these things, there's extra drama to it. Mark, you coach Curry. He's anything but that, correct?
I've been around him. I've been through adversity. It's not a guy that's going to milk it. Obviously, it's bothering him, and I think if you're Steve Kerr and the staff, you got to protect him. You got a cushion right now. Make sure he's right.
And by watching that, you saw the way he came out. There was still a pretty severe limp coming out. And again, he's still coming off an ankle injury that's also been bothering him. Felt good today, but it's just...
And he's not going to start the second half. Livingston's coming out.
So Curry not right. And this is when he came out at halftime trying to test it. And he's going back to the locker room. So Curry once again, the right leg, this one a right knee. It was the right ankle in game one.
But Mike, this is how fragile it is trying to win a championship. One bump like that, and this Warrior team is still most capable of winning this game and winning this series.
So Livingston, who has played well in Curry's place in the past couple of games, will start the third quarter.
And let's not overlook from the Rockets standpoint, Patrick Beverly not on the floor. Jason Terry starting for him.
Ariza misses. Bogut grabs his 7th rebound. Golden State led by 10 early in the first half. Houston came back, went up by as many as 7. And we're all tied up as we begin quarter number 3. Draymond Green fires and connects.
That's why if you're the Rockets, the worst thing you can do is put your guards down thinking, well, there's no Steph Curry on the floor. No, this team already beat you without Steph Curry. They're that good.
That was in game 2, but also on their home floor. Motiejunas. Howard had a big first half, finds Motiejunas. Livingston got a piece of it, but also a piece of the hand. And Livingston will pick up his second personal.
From the Rockets standpoint, a lot of their energy is derived from Patrick Beverly. That's a major loss for them. Not to equate it to the Warriors losing Curry.
We just received word that Patrick Beverly will not return, so he's done for the day. No official word on Curry yet, and it's Motiejunas hitting the first free throw. Motiejunas, who earlier this year was traded to the Pistons in a 3-team deal, but he didn't pass the physical. Remember, he had back surgery last April, and he came back, had no hard feelings whatsoever about being traded, handled it really professionally, and now getting a chance to play some very important minutes. Green tried the spin move, able to hold off Motiejunas. Shot clock winding down. Barnes gets inside and fouled by Terry. Well, the Rockets played that defensively well into the final seconds. Terry's second, and Barnes to the line. So who now will step up offensively for Golden State? You look at some of the Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Harrison Barnes, all very capable. All three have struggled a bit shooting the ball so far in this series.
And I really think it's going to be Sean Livingston who's going to play an integral part in this. He's so valuable in the post, guarded by Jason Terry right now. The ability to get with the high release deep into the paint. He obviously struggled in the first half, but I think he's very, very capable of bouncing back with a big second.
Barnes hits a pair. Golden State was 3 for 11 from the free throw line in that first half. Bogut takes it away from Howard. The All-NBA defender, good play there. Bogut finds Thompson. Has a chance to set and next knocks down the three, and a quick timeout from J.B. Bickerstaff.
If you said Sean Livingston, to me it's a no-brainer. It's Klay Thompson. When Steph Curry's not on the floor, even when he is, Klay Thompson is thinking, shoot the basketball, get your looks. Everybody on the floor is thinking, get him the rock. The guy is too good. Got to pay attention to him, or there's a price to pay.
Game 4 has Stephen Curry back in the Warriors locker room. This in the final seconds of the second quarter, where he injured his knee, limped off, went back to the locker room, had some treatment. This was right before the third quarter, trying to run it out a bit. You could see the limp, then tried just get a little workout in, talked with team officials, and went right back to the locker room as the third quarter began. Now, earlier in the game, Curry actually complained to the officials about a wet spot in the same exact spot on the court, and that's where he slipped again, in that wet spot. They cleaned it up. As Motiejunas spins, uses his offhand and banks it in.
But Mike, even complaining before the game, They could have did everything that they possibly could. At the end of the day, Montejunas had just slipped at that spot. That wet spot came from him hitting the deck.
That's one of the hazards of just these guys going back and forth and falling. And Green thought he was fouled. Montejunas knocked it loose. Harden to Ariza. And a whistle and a foul as Ariza tried to get free.
And we could have went out there and dried it up. At the end of the day, when he falls, the wet spot has occurred right there.
That's the exact spot, Mark. The exact spot.
That's great camera work.
And from the sneaker, skid marks from the sneaker. We do have the best camera people in the business.
And winning a championship, it says a lot staying healthy. Anything can happen. They won a championship because they were that good and they were that healthy.
Montejunas got shoved. If that's Bogut, that's 5 on Bogut. That's a bad decision for Andrew Bogut as he picks up his 5th, and Ezeli quickly gets up off the bench. He had just picked up his 4th foul and then reached in to get number 5, so he's going to sit for a good long time. Montejunas way off. Montejunas, who was a first-round pick way back in 2011. Minnesota drafted him, but they traded him to Houston in a deal that brought them Brad Miller here. He's played pro ball in Poland, Italy, Lithuania, his hometown in the D-League. This is his 4th year in the NBA. He's shown when he's healthy, he's got some real potential. He's battling out there right now with Draymond Green. Livingston looking for an opening, finds Green. Green comes up way short. Harden throws it ahead. Montejunas, who stumbles and throws it away. Montejunas hops back up. Barnes drives, finds Livingston for the finish. Montejunas a little shaken up. He's kind of flexing that left hand. And lead back up to 7. Livingston now with 4 points. Jason Terry going to play big minutes with Beverly out, so the 2 starting point guards out right now. Montejunas rattles in a 3. Rockets 3 of 14 from downtown. Thompson, contested shot is short. Ariza, quick outlet, but a bad pass. Not only a pass, but the who.
No, but that's what happened with the Montejunas play, too. They're outletting to their bigs, and it costs them. Time and time again, they have defended well and not made the proper decisions in transition, which have cost them their points, and then turnaround plays allowed Golden State to score.
Harden answers Draymond Green's 3 with a 3 of his own. 4-point lead for Golden State. Just over 4 minutes gone by here in the 3rd. Rockets trying to tie this series up. Livingston kicks out to Barnes. Barnes can't hit. Ezeli comes flying in for the offensive board. Green steps out. 4 for 4 from downtown is Draymond Green. 3 of them here already in the 3rd quarter.
Not just the great players elevate their game, but the great competitors. And that's what Draymond Green is doing right now in the absence of Steph Curry.
Livingston, pass to Thompson. Draymond Green. Ball does not touch the floor. And a technical foul has been called by Zach Zarba. Is it a double technical? He's explaining it to Sean Livingston. Now he's going to tell his fellow referees what the call was. I saw Derek Stafford signal they're going to go to the replay center in Secaucus. Now, was the basket good? Did they blow the whistle before? But I don't think so. I think that basket will count.
Good officiating. You wait until the fast break finishes before you blow the whistle and call technical foul.
Derek Stafford, the crew chief, on the right. Zach Zarba on the left. Here's the play. There you see Howard barrels over Livingston there and did not hear the whistle.
But it's really inadvertent. He just came into his path.
And Livingston kind of stopped running, and then Livingston looked to go back at him.
That's not a technical foul on Howard, I wouldn't think.
Well, if you missed it, if you look at the replay, it looked like Sean Livingston actually kicked
Tried
his
to
foot
kick
out
at him, yeah.
at Dwight Howard.
Oh, yeah. That's the kick there.
This should not be a double technical.
Well, if you want to call a personal foul on Dwight Howard, yes.
Yeah, but that wasn't called, so you can't go back and call that.
But a technical foul was signaled by Zach Zarba. Whether or not it's a double or single, that's what they're discussing right now. You know what? Well,
no, he's going to run into him. Of course,
so
you're going to try to brace yourself.
Meanwhile, for an update on Steph Curry, let's check in again with Lisa.
Yeah, Mike, Steph Curry is still back in the Warriors locker room being evaluated, but he will not be coming back to play in this game. That right knee tweak that we saw him have earlier at the end of the second quarter, they're now calling that a right knee sprain. And again, he will not return to this game. Mike.
Thank you, Lisa. Just to look ahead, Game 5 is not until Wednesday. Sean Livingston, he started the last 2 games, had 16 points in each of the last 2 games. Also an excellent distributor. He is now even more important. Such a key to the bench. We talked before the game with Steph Curry about Sean Livingston. He called him Mr. Consistent. Says he never sees him rushed or rattled. He goes, I have to deal with him in practice. I get a taste of how difficult he is as a matchup. He's a matchup problem for most teams because of his size and great court vision.
The versatility to be able to play with both Curry and Thompson. You don't find guys who have that size, length, basketball IQ that can play with all different players. So important when you're trying to manage a salary cap to have versatility.
He had a career high field goal percentage this year, career high in games played as well. Such a valuable, smart player. Seen a little bio. We've talked so much about his severe knee injury way back then, but now he has just been such a terrific bench player for this team.
Mike, it looks like they're going to call a double technical foul. It looks like the Rockets bench upset after being told that Howard was going to get a technical foul.
So it is the double technical. That's what's called. There's no shots on a double technical foul, but each player now is 1 technical away from automatic ejection. You can get thrown out on 1, but it's automatic on 2. So a long delay. With 7:08 remaining here in the third. That bucket from Golden State obviously counted, so it's a 9-point lead. And Draymond Green has come out of the gates. He's got 11 points already here in this third quarter. We haven't even played 5 minutes. Thompson on Harden. Thompson behind him. Harden beats the dribble, steps back, short jumper's good.
That's great defense by Klay Thompson. Just better offense by James Harden. You do not have the ability to defend that play any better than Thompson just did.
Harden, the game's leading scorer with 18. Also the game's leading assist man with 7. Ariza deflects it, but right to Festus Ezeli. Livingston up Thompson. Thompson for 3. It's good. That's 14 3-pointers now for Golden State, and they're up by 10. Thompson has 6 of his 17 here in the third. Hard throws it up. That looked like it was a pass. Here's Livingston racing down the floor. Back out. Klay Thompson for 3. Got it. Back-to-back threes. And the lead quickly balloons to 13. Beautiful setup from Sean Livingston. And Golden State on another one of those runs.
I've talked about Klay Thompson. The guy is a flat-out shooter and scorer in this league. Get to his spot. Sean Livingston does a great job of allowing him to get to the spot and then Thompson does the rest.
Well, for the 36th year, ESPN brings you the NFL Draft. Extensive coverage from Chicago. It'll begin this Thursday at 8 Eastern. 6:08 remaining. Third quarter of Game 4. Golden State give themselves a little breathing room. And their MVP back in the locker room with a sprained knee. Klay Thompson and Draymond Green have erupted here in this third period. They've hit 6 of 7 from downtown in the quarter. And now 15 threes for the game. Most threes ever in a playoff game by a team is 20. Remember, Cleveland did that Game 2 against Detroit.
Yeah,
Golden State did it last year.
Thanks, Mike.
Beasley off the glass. Beasley with terrific offensive game. 15 points on 5 of 7 from the field. Golden State went up 10 in the first half and lost that lead. As Thompson and then knocked out of his hands, picked up by Jason Terry. Beasley holding. Harden drives on Green. Shot clock at 5. Steps back for 3. Well defended that time.
It's a bad offensive possession. The ball stayed on one side. Multiple dribbles by each player.
Barnes catch and shoot. That's good. 7 3-pointers in the period. 16 for the game.
Anybody that's ever thought it was just Steph Curry and everybody else are wrong. This is a great basketball team because collectively they find ways to get it done on a nightly basis.
Harden, Livingston chases him off the 3. Jason Terry connects. Jason Terry from downtown. He's 3 for 3 off the bench.
And that all started with a double team that Michael Beasley demanded as Livingston shoots up over the top of Jason Terry for the 3-point play opportunity.
Livingston now at 6 points.
Just so big, gets to his spot. High release.
Again, if you're Steve Kerr and you have guys like Andre Iguodala, Sean Livingston, Maurice Spates coming off your bench, not just good players, but smart veteran players who have really embraced their roles.
Hey, listen, the construction of the roster by Bob Myers has been brilliant. They have great size, versatility, and skill level, plus high character.
Turnover number 17 for Houston.
And the first thing you said, the last thing you said, high character. Man, that's underrated. You want to win in this league, you got to have high character guys. They certainly have that. They have depth, great depth at every single position.
Iguodala back to Thompson. Thompson blocked by Ariza, gets it back, however. Shot clock now down to 7. Zealy comes up to set a high screen. Thompson uses it beautifully. And Howard grabs his 11th rebound. Golden State has 30 points already in the period. We still have almost 4 minutes remaining. Beasley fakes. Oh, that's a tough shot. Brewer back to Beasley. Beasley gets to the ball.
They're Houston, you got to have better offense. Not just a tough shot, a bad shot. Fortunately for them, Brewer gets the offensive boards and Beasley gets another opportunity.
Thompson's pass deflected. Livingston right there. Cross court, back to Thompson. Nails another 3. Thompson now 23 points, including 12 here in the third quarter. They have 17. They're 17 of 30 from downtown.
Not enough credit given to Klay Thompson because we fall in love with, rightfully so, with Steph Curry. Klay Thompson is a star in this league.
Beasley. A little out of control. Brewer can't connect. Brewer has now missed his last 23 three-point attempts. Under 3 to play. Livingston, again, using that height advantage. Not that time, although Beasley switched up on him. Harden comes the other way. Harden kicks it out. Brewer's going to try again. Boy, that has to feel so good, although it's not a three. A two-pointer foot on the line, but still has to feel as Brewers really struggle from the perimeter. And we'll take a timeout. Klay Thompson and Draymond Green lighting it up here in the third without Steph Curry.
NBA playoffs on ABC.
Remember what I said this morning? I said this morning, character will be revealed in this series, and it's going to be revealed tonight. We're down our man. We've already shown what we're made of. Poise, execution, tough defense.
Well, they have certainly done that here in the third quarter with the MVP back in the locker room. He's only played in 2 halves of this series and will not play in the second half. Mo Spates drives and grabbed by Brewer, and he'll shoot a couple. And of course, Klay Thompson and Draymond Green leading the way here in the third. They have 8 3-pointers just in the third quarter alone. And now 17 for the game. We're talking to Steve Kerr before the game. One of the things he said about Klay Thompson, he can play all day. His conditioning is extraordinary. And Spates hits the free throw. Remember, he had the 34 points in game 2, the first one that Curry set out in this series. Went to the free throw line 16 times that game.
And this is Klay Thompson. You go to an empty gym and you walk in it with 100 guys and there's a ball in the corner somewhere. Klay Thompson is the one guy that's going to walk to the opposite side of the court, go get that basketball and take up shots. The guy wants to be great.
Brewer misses that. Ball deflected back out to Harden. Finds Beasley. And Beasley shot in and out. Draymond Green wrestles away his 4th rebound. Iguodala and Ian Clark in the game.
Another addition to Steve Kerr's speech would be shooting. You know, poise, execution, character. But when you shoot like this, it is very, very difficult to be beaten.
Spates trying to get it and tips it to Iguodala. 2 Rockets battling, and Mo Spates able to knock it away, and a lead up to 17. Remember, Golden State had a 17-point lead in game 3. Or excuse me, the Rockets had the 17-point lead in game 3. Golden State came all the way back, and that was on the road. So right now, Golden State in rhythm. Beasley misses.
It looks like they've taken the will of this Rockets team.
Oh, beautiful move. Another gorgeous pass from Draymond Green. And Andre Iguodala has 17 points. Shot won't go. Rebound, Iguodala. Clark running the floor. Final minute. Here in this third quarter, Golden State turning it around without Steph Curry. The basket will not count. It was a foul beforehand. Trevor Ariza called for his third. He'll take it out of bounds.
Well, the response by the Warriors has been terrific. Mo Spates, couple jumps, tips it. Iguodala cleans up the garbage.
Thompson out to Spates. Spates will try another 3. As Beasley grabs it. Harden finds a little room. Spates fires a perfect pass down to Draymond Green. A 21-point lead and a 41-point quarter for Golden State without Steph Curry.
And that's a joke right there from the Rockets standpoint. There's not one person who made one step to run back on that miss.
Shot clock turned off. And the air has gone out of the building for the Rocket fans. Beasley puts up a 3. That rattles in and out. Another rebound from Draymond Green. Final seconds. That'll count if it goes. We're way off. As Golden State makes 8 3-pointers in the third quarter. They score 41 points. Some of it good offense and some of it this.
This is a come-on man moment right here. That just can't happen if you're serious about winning.
Klay Thompson with 12 points in the third quarter. He hit 4 threes.
Draymond Green with 13 points in the quarter as this presentation of the NBA playoffs continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
We got 12 minutes to go. It's time to dig down. Chip away at it. Keep fighting. Keep scrapping. All the small things. Stay together. Fight with one another. Come on, let's go.
Very telling, J.B. Bickerstaff. That's the message he has to say in a huge playoff game, trying to dig down. Here's a guy that he's coaching for his job. He's coaching for his future, and he's got to urge him to play with the intensity that just was missing there in that third quarter.
The one thing as a coach, the worst position you can be in as a coach is to beg guys to compete. And when he says keep fighting, keep scrapping, no, you mean start fighting, start scrapping, because that quarter they got outworked. It was an embarrassment as far as their performance was concerned.
And you should never have to beg for energy and effort and unselfishness. That should be a given each and every day.
Certainly in a playoff game with such implications. And again, the opportunity there as the ball goes off space legs out of bounds. They had a real opportunity. A tie game at halftime. Oh, the best player in the NBA is out. Steve Kerr wanted to travel after that catch.
I'm going to say this. Monte Eunice didn't grow up playing baseball. Did you see that baseball pass right there?
Spates the rebound off the miss. And a foul on Terry.
If you're just joining us again, Steph Curry will not return. Curry with a sprained knee. Heard it at the very end of the second quarter. Meanwhile, Patrick Beverly, who injured his right leg. Beverly is also done, at least for the day.
Just over a minute gone by here in the fourth. Barnes bumped by Hart. Barbosa getting a chance here in the second half. Likes that high off the glass, and a loose ball foul is going to go against Houston. I believe it's Monte Eunice. Crowd doesn't like the call. Monte Eunice make that Jason Terry his fifth. Here's the play for those just tuning in. Seconds to go in the quarter. He slipped on a wet spot that Monte Eunice had just fallen on prior to it. Tried to come out, warm up before the third quarter. Going right back to the locker room. Spates misses badly.
That's 4 good defensive possessions to start this fourth quarter.
Offensive foul as Spates draws the charge. Howard second.
Definitely bumped into him.
Right, and it just, was it exaggerated or not?
Barbosa drives to Barnes. Barnes can't hit. Rebound deflected by Ariza. And they say Houston ball. With Dwight Howard, who's going to need to help out here, has not scored yet in the fourth quarter through the first 3 games. Ariza. Shot won't go. Good boxing out from Barnes. Iguodala posting up Terry. Back out Clark. And Clark hits the three-pointer. Ian Clark, who had 11 points in game 3, 9 of them in the fourth quarter in that comeback that came up just a bit short.
He's played extremely well for this Warrior team when called upon all season long. And when you think about it and say, okay, Steve Kerr decided to go with Clark as the foul committed in the paint early on in this ball game. Was it because of he knew what he was going to get in Sean Livingston? Maybe giving Ian Clark some time, rhythm, just in case he had to call upon him. But this guy has been ready all season long and has had some big moments for him.
Clark, it's his 3rd year in the league. His first year with Golden State, they signed him as a free agent. He played with Utah for parts of 2 seasons, about a 7-game stint with Denver. His college ball at Belmont. Was not drafted back in 2013. He's a smart player. Steve Kerr says he moves the ball well. He sees the floor well. Ariza can't get at the ball. Quick outlet, Iguodala. Racing right at Harden. Left-handed, flips it up and gets the roll.
And Mike, Clark was superbly coached at Belmont by, not many people know his name, but Ricky Bird can coach with anybody, anywhere. His college coach, brilliant.
They wrap up Howard, who's going to go to the line as Spates commits the foul. Well, you think back to last year's playoffs with Houston. Remember, they looked like they were dead in the water against the Clippers. Had that magnificent comeback here in Houston. They wound up winning the series in 7 games to advance to the conference final. But this is a vastly different Rockets team than last year, despite the fact that most of the personnel is the same. And as Howard hits the free throw. Upcoming national TV games, 2 tonight on TNT. Huge game in Boston. Celtics trying to even that series up. Meanwhile, Cleveland hoping to sweep Detroit in Auburn Hills. And then Monday on NBA TV, another huge game in Charlotte. As Steve Clifford's team trying to tie things up with Miami. Howard finally scores in the 4th quarter. 22-point lead for Golden State. Iguodala, all the time in the world, and hits the 3. 19 3-pointers for Golden State, 1 shy of tying the NBA playoff record.
One team realized when Steph Curry went down that they had to elevate their game collectively, and the other team took a deep breath.
Harden way off. Spates deflects it to Iguodala. Iguodala had 27 points total through the first 3 games. He's got 23 here in game 4. Harden, alley-oop to Howard. Howard comes down with it. Barnes trying to stay with him. That's when you got to foul him, right?
You should. Yeah, absolutely.
Howard 7 for 7 from the field. 4 from 9 from the free throw line. Obviously a lot of layups and dunks.
It's hard to get layups, though, Mike. People say that about DeAndre Jordan, too. I'm like, it's ridiculous. Those are the hardest shots to get.
Lowers guys around you, contested. Barnes tried the banker, wouldn't go. Howard outlet. Deflected out by Spates. We'll take a timeout. Andre Iguodala off the bench, doing what he does best.
Total team effort by the Warriors. MVP goes down. They find a way to get it done. When you say Warriors, put some respect on their name.
Klay Thompson and Golden State with a nice comfortable lead, a 23-point advantage with 7:45 remaining. Green and Thompson exploding in that 3rd quarter without Steph Curry.
And James Harden takes his first rest of the night.
Harden played the first 40 minutes and 15 seconds. 18 points, 10 assists, 7 rebounds, 31 assists in the last 3 games.
And I'll tell you what can get overlooked in all this. Dwight Howard is doing a great job tonight of trying to fight for paint position, ducking in hard. Now, some of the passes, it hasn't worked out, but he's been more active tonight. Unfortunately, the free throw shooting has betrayed him. But look at this. Just coming in there, catching it deep.
There you see the numbers. Struggling from the free throw line. Rebound Livingston. Barbosa, Livingston, Spates, Barnes, and Green out there for Golden State. A.J. McDaniels has come on for Houston. Spates gets an open look. Mo Spates, 7 more points off the bench. Here's Terry. Terry ducks up and under.
Believe it or not, looking at Sean Livingston and Mo Spates, we can take for granted. There's some teams in this league where players would have been overlooked to start the ball game, and they'd be sitting on the bench pouting, talking about coach tripping tonight. Those guys stayed ready and understood. That's part of having high character also.
Barnes hits it. Well, obviously always helpful when you're winning and winning titles.
Absolutely, but I would, to co-sign that, That doesn't mean that everybody's happy on the Warriors all the time with their role.
Right.
That just means that instead of trying to bring the team down with backroom clicks complaining all the time, they stay focused on what's truly important, which is winning.
Montrezl Harrell, a rookie from Louisville, has come on. Houston down by 25. And an offensive foul's called. Bogut has just fouled out of the game. Just 15 minutes as we check in with Lisa.
Hey, Michael, it's no wonder that Andre Iguodala's played so well in this third quarter. Check out the treatment that he was undergoing on the bench during that last timeout. He just looked like he was getting manhandled by trainer Chelsea Lane. I went over to her and I said, the video was great, but what exactly were you doing? She said, I was just mobilizing his neck, just loosening his neck up so that he can play better. Mike?
Well done by...
I want to sign up for that. And plus, did you see how strong she looked when she was doing that? She looks like she's been lifted.
Been wanting to put you in a headlock for quite a while.
Terry misses. Barbosa throws it off. And it's going to be Golden State ball.
She's digging in there. Oh, my goodness.
Andre Iguodala, you got to save the faces, though. I'm really all right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
He seems nice and relaxed.
Up 25 on the road will do that.
And they were the best road team, not only in the NBA this year, but best road record in the history of the NBA as Barbosa hits that one, and it's up to 27. Shot blocked by Spates. Howard gets it, and Howard mauled as Green holds on to him. And we'll take a timeout. 5.5 remaining here in the fourth. Second half, a domination by the Golden State Warriors.
After being tied at halftime, the Warriors have absolutely exploded from the three-point line. 10 of 16 in the second half without the MVP, Steph Curry. Klay Thompson and Draymond Green absolutely lighting it up. Harrison Barnes getting in the action. But look at all these passes right on target. Great passes lead to great shot attempts. And Mark, I'm doing my 3-slide like the Warriors do. They put it on them in the second half.
34 assists for Golden State. Now they've got 19 threes. It's one shy of tying the record. One of the teams that had the record was the Dallas Mavericks NBA championship team in 2011. Jason Terry had 9 of their 23s in that game. Terry now at the other end as Barnes shoots over McDaniels. Harrell the rebound. And game 5 will be Wednesday as Brewer throws it up and in. Of course, with all the positives here in the second half for Golden State, the number one bit of news is regarding Steph Curry. There will be some anxious days ahead to see how Curry responds to treatment, especially how he wakes up tomorrow after spraining his knee. Barbosa misses.
Wouldn't you guys be a little bit surprised if he played in game 5 up 3-1?
I would be surprised. This is a very good basketball team, no question. But to win it all, you need the help of Steph Curry because the competition is going to be better than this Houston Rockets team.
Listen, the second round in the Western Conference is going to be incredible.
What did you call me earlier, Captain Obvious?
Yeah.
Did you just take a shot at me, Mike?
Yeah, I did.
Mike, subtle. I like that. You win.
Touche.
Ball knocked out by Green. You know, you talked about surprises before. For you guys so far here in the first round of the playoffs, either a positive or negative, what's been the biggest surprise in the first round? Brewer drives and finishes?
For me, Indiana Pacers playing, well against the Toronto Raptors and disrupting that dynamic backcourt of the Raptors.
We'll get Jeff Van Gundy's big surprise. So hang on. Here in game 4, but a terrific performance from Golden State, but at what cost? That will be the question. Now it's the final seconds of the second quarter. Steph Curry slips on a wet spot and grabs his right knee. He tried to come out to start the third quarter, but unable to go. He only played the first half of game 1. Tried to start the second half of game 1, but couldn't. Missed games 2 and 3 in the entire second half here of game 4. How serious the sprain is, that will be determined. And that will become the #1 question in these NBA playoffs over the next couple of days. Brewer knocks it out of bounds. 6 to shoot for Golden State. And this was Curry. He went out, he warmed up. This is prior to the start of the third quarter. And obviously upset. Barbosa banks it in. It has been one of the really most extraordinary seasons in the history of the league, what Curry has done this year, and obviously historic what the team has done. As Jason Terry goes in and out. So the right ankle in game 1 and the right knee in game 4. Nice feed inside. And a layup for Livingston.
Yeah, this is embarrassing.
You know, the phrase letting go of the rope perhaps appropriate right now. Brewer's shot won't go, rebounded by Green. When you look back at halftime, it was a tie game. And the MVP was out as Barbosa knocks down the 3, and they've just tied the NBA record for most threes in a playoff game. Second time this season it's been tied. Cleveland did it in game 2 of their series with Detroit, and now Golden State does it.
They go hack a Capella so they can get the Warriors in. Yeah.
Many of the fans heading out to the humid afternoon here in Houston. Golden State, Cleveland, Dallas, as we mentioned. Jason Terry had 9 that game for Seattle. Nate McMillan led them in threes that playoff game when they had 20. As Capella hits it. Reminder, after Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN, don't miss Sports Center at night. John Butchergross and John Anderson. Full coverage of the day in sports, including all the NBA and NHL playoff highlights. Sports Center at night after Sunday Night Baseball on ESPN.
There's a side of me right now that want to leave with the fans. I mean, you look at this Rockets team, and there's teams in the history of this game that say, okay, well, we're going to Golden State with a chance to, extend the series. But there's nothing in the Rockets' play since Curry has gone down, and at moments throughout the course of the season that indicates to me that they want to fight.
Shot clock winding down. Brandon Rush. There's your NBA record, 21 threes. So Golden State all by themselves now. 21 of 38 from downtown. Terry misses. Zealy the rebound as we go under 2.5 minutes.
When the Cavs made the 20 threes, we get the soundbite from LeBron talking about how cool it is to be part of history. Well, that's gone now.
They're also just 2 shy of the all-time mark. The regular season record is 23. Stan Van Gundy's Magic did that in 2009, and Houston did it back in 2013.
Houston did it against my Warrior team at the time, where we were just fouling them because they were trying to embarrass us, but they were red hot.
Capella misses. Capella rebounds and throws it back out as we're under 2 minutes to go. McDaniels. Boy, what a complete annihilation in the second half.
Well said, Captain Obvious.
I deserve that.
That trophy is getting passed around.
Zealy comes up short.
You know what? We were debating Dellavedova's salary for next year. What about a Zealy salary?
He'll make a lot of money. He's a starting center in this league.
I'm going at 15.
Whoa.
The only thing bringing it down, injury issues have always plagued.
McDaniels the rebound. Golden State have outscored Houston 65-34 here in the second half.
People probably listen to you say Ezeli's numbers and Dellavedova's numbers. They're not aware of how the salary cap is going up. So those numbers, you're going to see contracts throughout the course of this league over the summer, and you're going to be amazed.
McAdoo is out of bounds with 34.8 remaining. So Dwight Howard, the Rockets will face elimination on Wednesday night, Game 5 in Oakland. And Golden State, they win a road game in a series for the 8th straight series. That might not sound like a big deal, but winning road playoff games so difficult. And now it's going to be 8 straight series with a road win. The best road team, single season road team in the history of the NBA. They'll go up 3-1. Thompson 7 threes, Green 4. And it was that third quarter when they scored 41 points in the third and set the NBA playoff record with 21 makes from downtown. One of those Golden State eruptions that we've seen all season long, time and time again. And they hit 21 threes with Steph Curry hitting just one and playing only 18 minutes in the first half. Again, shows you the depth of this Warrior team. McAdoo blocked by McDaniels. Harrell comes up with it. Harrell drives inside, throws it down, and now Golden State will just inbound. And the Warriors will take a 3-1 lead in this best-of-7 series. But again, the key question, how badly did Steph Curry sprain that knee? Klay Thompson, magnificent today, as was Draymond Green. But now the Warriors will wait a word, and they'll need a couple of days, plenty of treatment, see how he wakes up tomorrow. As Curry injuring that knee in the first half and did not return. Second injury of this opening round for the league's MVP. Thompson at 23 in just 31 minutes. And Andre Iguodala, another terrific performance with 22. He's with Lisa.
Thank you, Mike. Andre, no Steph, no problem. Like, how did you guys collectively step it up when you saw that he wouldn't be able to play in the second half?
Well, it's a tough loss for us, and we're praying for my brother. He really wants to be out there and fight with us. But he's strong, and we're going to carry him. But we always say strength in numbers for a reason. When one guy goes down, we got to have the rest of the guys fill in collectively. One guy just can't do what he does for us.
How did your mindset personally, how did the game change for you coming into the second half knowing that he was going to be out?
Well, I knew I had to be a little bit more aggressive, looking for my shot. Felt really good, the last week or two, and just knew I had to kind of treat it like I do when I go against the first unit in practice. I really go at those guys. So trying to do those same things. Teammates looking out for me, and it felt good.
You and Draymond really lit it up and blew open the game in the third quarter. What was clicking for you guys?
Well, we have a lot of confidence, and there are things that we can do that we hold back with because our team doesn't need it. And then it's nights like tonight, it's like, okay, the guys need us to do this tonight, so we're bringing it to the table and ready to go.
Now take a look at this video, Andre. I mean, this is the treatment that you got on the bench from trainer Chelsea Lane. Is that as painful as it looks?
That's pretty painful.
She is dominating you.
It's like getting a colonoscopy checkup. I'm almost 35, right? You get that at 35?
Oh, no.
I haven't got it yet, but I've heard a lot about it. I'm sure that feels like that.
Oh, no. It looks awful.
Yeah, I came down weird, so I got a little stiffness in the neck, but Chelsea's the best. She'll get me right.
All right. Thank you. Congratulations on the win. Mike?
All right, you never know where an interview will lead you. Andre Iguodala and Golden State just destroy Houston in the second half. So now they're up 3-1. Clippers up 2-1. OKC also up 3-1. San Antonio winning earlier in Memphis to sweep the Grizzlies in the Western Conference playoffs. Of course, the big story still for Golden State, Steph Curry and that sprained knee. This is how he did it. Final second quarter, slipped on the wet spot. Tried to play in the second half, but they wouldn't let him start it. And he'll have obviously plenty of treatment updates throughout the night on ESPN.
So for Jeff Van Gundy, Mark Jackson, Lisa Salters, producer Tim Corrigan, director Jimmy Moore, and our entire crew, Mike Breen saying thanks for watching ABC, home of the NBA Finals. Stay tuned. The studio gang coming up after these messages on ABC.
Los Angeles studios, wrapping up another interesting Sunday of NBA playoff action. Doug Collins, Jalen Rose, I'm Sage Steele, and the Warriors are officially up 3-1 in this series. No surprise there. Let's start with the result of the game before we get into the injury situation, because there's at least one for each team that's significant. However, third quarter, Jalen Rose, the Golden State Warriors came out. They were tied at 56 with Houston. They exploded in the third. What was the key?
Plus 21 in the third. They played like a team that saw their MVP, their leader, down on the canvas and said, we can't play any extra basketball games. Like Coach Collins continues to stress. And Draymond Green, their other all-star, Klay Thompson, their other all-star, both will be all-NBA performers, led a three-point barrage in the third quarter. Are we going to talk about the Rockets not showing up to play?
I was hoping you would, trust me, I was going to ask you, because when you see, both you please comment on this, you've been there, I haven't, when you see the MVP go down, Steph Curry go down, don't you want to say, okay, here's our chance, let's go for the jugular? There was none of that there from the Houston Rockets, Doug.
Does that surprise you? I mean, that's what they've been all year.
Exactly.
I mean, to me, it's what you saw. Rudy T, a great Houston Rocket. Remember the one year they won, and they call it clutch. They were down 0-2. They came back and won.
City.
Remember what he said? No. Don't ever underestimate the heart of a champion.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you saw in Golden State today. I mean, the heart of a champion.
And the exact opposite.
Yeah, I mean, you know, if you are the Houston Rockets, I mean, you don't know how long Steph Curry's out. Let's hope it's not going to be long.
Sure.
But you even up this series at 2-2, and he might not play in Game 5. And you come out and you give up 41 points in the third quarter. You get beat by 48 points from the three-point line. You give up 38 assists on 46 field goals.
After a very good first half from Dwight Howard, from things that you said were important in the game, they did it in the first half.
Well, I mean, but it's been the whole series. He's averaged good first half, and he came back and had one basket in the second. But it's not on Dwight Howard.
No, it's the entire.
I mean, this is a collective team. I'm watching at the end of the game. And even guys who came in at the end, the shots were wide open. I said, I think I could get a jumper off in a game like this. That's discouraging for me.
It's hard to watch.
That's discouraging for me, for J.B. Bickerstaff, you know, to sit there as a coach. Because, you know, a team is a reflection of the coach. When a team plays like that, it rips your heart out. It really does. You go in the locker room, Jay, because you say, like, I can't get my message across to this team.
And neither could Kevin McHale, which is why he lasted 11
right.
It's bigger than that, Jalen.
Uncontested layups. Uncontested threes, not running back on defense. It just showed low basketball character for a team that's in the playoffs, and you should be enthusiastic to play in front of your home fans. You see an opportunity with Steph Curry on the canvas. Maybe we have a chance to tie this series up, and for them to play the way they played in the second half, it's almost embarrassing that they were even a playoff team.
As Doug said, no, we weren't surprised. We don't have too much time left. Let's get to Steph Curry because that made everybody, I'm sure, across the country watching wince when you saw him go down. And most importantly, maybe his reaction afterwards when he tried to come out at the beginning of the second half. And he was emotional. I mean, what? You can go in several different directions, Jalen. No Steph Curry, what happens to the Warriors?
No Steph Curry, they get by this series. If he's hobbled or unable to go, and unfortunately we would have to look forward, I don't think because the West is that tough that they would advance past the second round. That's giving credit to their opponent.
Well, you know, I get it with Steph because he had just gotten back from the ankle. Now this happens, and you could just see how much the kid loves to play. And I'm just praying, I'm telling you, I hope the kid's going to be okay because I want to watch him play basketball.
I do too.
I want to watch him play.
And a couple of freak things that happened to him playing in Houston. We were in the gym when he took a nasty tumble, and then what happened today? Hopefully he gets it right.
And again, right knee sprain, you know they'll have MRIs and tons of reports as they head back to Oakland over the next couple of days. We'll keep you up to date. Game 5, regardless, Wednesday on TNT in Oakland. In the meantime, world news or your local news is next, except on the West Coast. For Doug Collins and Jalen Rose, I'm Sage Steele. Thanks for watching. Enjoy playoff action tonight over on TNT as well. See you next week.